Hello everyone, welcome! I have a beautiful new die set to show you in today's video, as well as a stamp set that coordinates with it. This is a layering die as well as a stitching die, and I love stitching dies, so I was so excited to play with this one. This is from Spellbinders, and it's called Layered Stitched Diamonds, and then the coordinating stamp set is called Layered Diamond Sentiments. So let me pull this out and give you a close-up look at it. There are many pieces to this die set. You get a 5.5 by 4.25 inch die, and it has faux stitching around it. This is the main piece. And then there are several layering pieces. You have these little triangle pieces, and in the center you have another diamond. And these are all stitching pieces as well. The stamp set has a sentiment for almost every occasion, so this is a set you can use all year round, and it just fits perfectly in the middle of this die. As you can see here, I'm going to create a Christmas card with this set. So I'll use the stamp that says Happy Holidays, but they also have Happy Birthday, Hello There, Congrats on your big day, With sympathy, You did it, A note from me to you, Feel better soon, For you, and I love you. I'll use a piece of Dune craft cardstock to cut out my main piece. And I'll lift off this cover plate. A lot of the dots are still inside, so I'm going to use my all-in-one tool just to pop those out and the brush part to brush them away. And here is the panel ready to go. And of course, you don't have to stitch. You can draw in faux lines if you want. But of course, I love to stitch, so I used some pretty gold thread. And this did take some time, so it is a labor of love, but it's something I really enjoy. So I'm going to stitch this last little corner here. I used 2 threads of this gold, and I'll link this thread that I used in the description box. But you have to kind of pull it through slowly so it doesn't get into a knot. But it's just a stunning piece once you're done. And then you can do even more stitching on the little triangle pieces. But I'm not going to be using them on today's card. So let me cut down a little piece of yellow tape. And I like to cut it down so it's nice and narrow. And I can just tape down my loose ends without them being seen from behind the holes. Okay, here it is all done. Isn't that gorgeous? The hardest part is coming up with your color scheme. I was going to use those 4 little triangles that you saw there, but I decided to go a little more simple. So I'm pulling out some wild berry cardstock. And I'm going to stamp my sentiment onto this. I'm using some Versamark ink so that I can emboss this with some white embossing powder. So I can ink this up, and then I can stamp it onto the paper. I'm kind of staying away from the very edges, so I have plenty of room to die cut this piece. Next, I'll pour over some white embossing powder. I like to heat up my heat tool for at least 60 seconds. And then I can melt this. Goes very quick. And then I'll use the diamond die to cut this out. I'll tape it down with some more of the yellow tape. And then I'll just run this through my die cut machine off camera. And all of my pieces are now ready to go. I'll glue this panel onto my white card base. And again, this is an A2 sized card, which is 5.5 by 4.25. It wants to pop up because of all of the thread, so I do have to hold it down for a few minutes. I'll pop up the sentiment with some foam adhesive. Doesn't that look so pretty just on the inside of that? Now I can start decorating my card. I used the small die of the month set to do this. It comes with some really pretty poinsettias and some different leaves and flowers. I used the same wild berry cardstock for these flowers. and then some fern green, and then just some white. Oh, and a lighter green too. It's called rainforest. I'll just start gluing these down in place. The flowers, however, I am going to pop up with some foam pieces. I really like the little white sprig of flowers that I have there because it really ties in with the white sentiments. I added some white gemstones on this panel, and here is a close-up look. I also added a few more leaves with the lighter green. So again, this is called layered stitched diamonds, and I, of course, will link to that in the description box. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I hope you were inspired. Take care, my crafty friends. Until next time. Bye.